Welcome to DarkMind Investigations. On this channel, we explore real stories where truth hides behind silence, lies where professional faces and ordinary people pay the highest price. Tonight's investigation is not about weapons or violence. It's about trust and how one invisible crime destroyed thousands of lives without a single shot being fired. They believed they were early. They believed they were smart. They believed they were safe. That belief cost them everything. In the final months of 2019, the world was changing faster than most people could understand. Digital currencies were no longer a niche idea discussed in online forums. They were mainstream. News channels spoke about overnight millionaires. Social media was flooded with screenshots of profits, luxury cars, and early retirements. It felt like a gold rush for the digital age, and a new platform promised to be the ultimate guide. It looked professional, it felt secure, and it had a charismatic leader who promised financial freedom for all. This is the story of how that promise became a nightmare. In a world of rising costs and shaky futures, many people weren't looking for riches, they were just looking for a lifeline. They were looking for hope. And that's when Ethan Cole appeared. He wasn't your typical online guru, flashing fast cars or designer clothes. He wore simple t-shirts and spoke in a calm, steady voice. He took his time explaining complex ideas as if he truly wanted everyone to succeed. Ethan said he was a former software engineer who knew the financial system from the inside out. He believed traditional banks were built to keep the average person down. His solution? A private investment platform powered by sophisticated algorithms and the efficiency of the blockchain, designed for people who felt left behind. He called it NovaChain. Ethan said NovaChain didn't depend on luck or wild speculation. It was all about mathematics, automated trading, smart risk control, and total transparency. He kept repeating one thing: this is not gambling. And that word was important because the people he was talking to weren't gamblers. They were parents, everyday workers, couples planning their future. They wanted stability, not a roller coaster of thrills. NovaChain's website looked professional, with a clean design, all the legal language, and charts showing steady, consistent growth. Nothing explosive, just believable returns. Early users started small, putting in a few $100s, maybe a few thousand. And then, every single month, right on schedule, the profits appeared in their accounts. That's how trust begins, quietly. One man used his profits to pay off his medical bills. A school teacher used them to cover her children's tuition. A newly married couple reinvested everything, believing they were building something for the long term. Ethan always encouraged patience. He warned everyone against greed. He even told people not to invest money they couldn't afford to lose. That kind of advice made him sound responsible. It made him sound honest. But behind the scenes, there was no complex trading system. There were no advanced algorithms, and there was absolutely no secret technology. Every single dollar that came in was just being moved around. New money was used to pay the old investors. And so the circle just kept growing and growing and growing. As the months rolled on, NovaChain just blew up. Ethan was running these exclusive private seminars and online webinars. He even had these secret, invitation-only meetings. See, he was smart. He stayed out of the public eye and let word of mouth do all the work. It's genius, really. When your best friend tells you about a can't-miss opportunity, you don't really question it, do you? So people started pouring in more and more money. What started as $10,000 quickly became $50,000, then $100,000. Folks were selling their homes, taking out massive loans, even borrowing from their parents, totally convinced they'd pay it all back in no time. The red flags were there, but they were so subtle. Withdrawals started to slow down. Customer service emails became robotic. When anyone asked about regulations, they got these super vague answers. Ethan just waved it all off as system upgrades and security checks, and people bought it. Why? Because the money, for now, was still showing up. Late, but it was there. For a while, everyone just went along with the explanations. I mean, the money was still showing up, right? It was late, sure, but it was there, until one Monday morning when it just wasn't. Users logged in and were hit with an error message. Maintenance. Temporary issue. Please wait. Hours ticked by, then a whole day. Emails to support vanished into a black hole. The phone lines? Dead silent. Panic started to ripple through private chat groups. By the third day, that panic turned into pure fear. People started checking Ethan's social media. All gone. The company website. Vanished. That registration number they were so proud of. It led nowhere. A few desperate investors even drove to the official office address. The building was real, but the office had never existed. Security footage from a hotel next door later showed a man who looked just like Ethan, calmly checking out 2 days before everything imploded. No hurry, no stress. Just a man who knew exactly what he was doing. Investigators would later confirm that over $1 billion had vanished. For the victims, the realization was devastating. People just stared at their screens in stunned silence. Some refused to believe it, while others felt physically sick. Many collapsed under the crushing weight of guilt. How do you even begin to explain to your family that your entire future is just gone? Police departments were completely overwhelmed as thousands of reports flooded in. It was the same story, over and over again, the same platform, the same man, the same vanishing act. The investigation uncovered incredible layers of deception. The licenses, forged, the audits, fake, the glowing testimonials. All paid actors, those team photos? Just stock images. Even the CEO, Ethan Cole, wasn't his real name. Authorities believe he had planned his escape months in advance, with multiple passports, offshore accounts, and crypto wallets designed to disappear into digital shadows. Despite a massive international effort, Ethan was never found. But the damage was done. Marriages fell apart under the crushing weight of financial strain. Parents spiraled into depression, and some victims simply vanished from their social circles, too ashamed to admit they'd been fooled. For a few, financial recovery was never a possibility. And then the most disturbing truth came to light. This wasn't a one-off thing. NovaChain was just one name, one version of a predatory system that keeps coming back with new faces, new platforms, and new promises. It's always the same psychology. Because the best scams don't just sell you a lie, they sell you hope. They sound logical, they feel secure, they even reward your patience. At first, by the time you see the red flags, it's already too late. If this story teaches us anything, it's that real security never asks for blind trust. And the most dangerous crimes aren't the ones that leave visible scars. Ever wonder what happens when someone just vanishes? One moment, they're here laughing, living, dreaming, and the next, they're gone. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? For the families left behind, it's a nightmare that never ends. They're left with empty homes, broken hearts, and questions that may never find an answer. We believe their stories deserve to be told, not just as cautionary tales, but as a tribute to the lives they lived. Thank you for watching DarkMind Investigations. If you agree that these stories need a voice, subscribe to our channel and stay with us. Because sometimes the deepest darkness hides in plain sight. Until next time, stay aware, stay critical, and never stop questioning what looks too perfect to be true.